Learning English is a journey, and along the way, everyone makes mistakes. That's completely normal. But some mistakes happen so often that they slow down progress without you even realizing it. Today, I'll walk you through 10 common mistakes English learners make and how you can fix them naturally. No tests, no right or wrong format, just real talk, real examples, and practical advice. One of the biggest mistakes English learners make is trying to translate everything word for word from their native language. But languages don't work that way. The structure, the expressions, and even the way ideas are organized can be completely different. Imagine someone who speaks English as their first language says, "It's raining cats and dogs." If you translate that literally, it makes no sense. But in English, it just means it's raining heavily. Instead of thinking in your native language and translating, try to immerse yourself in English. Listen, read, and absorb the way words naturally fit together. The more you do this, the more you'll think in English without needing to translate every word in your head. Prepositions are tricky. They don't always follow logic, and they often don't translate directly between languages. That's why learners mix them up all the time. For example, some people say, "I'm good in English," but in English we say, "I'm good at English." Or someone might say, "I'm married with Sarah." But the correct way is, "I am married to Sarah." The best way to learn prepositions is not by memorizing rules, but by paying attention to how they're used in real sentences. Watch movies, listen to native speakers, and notice how prepositions fit naturally into phrases. Many learners rely on very too much because it feels like a simple way to emphasize something. But English has so many richer, more precise words. Instead of saying very tired, try exhausted. Instead of very happy, say thrilled or ecstatic. Learning stronger, more expressive words will make your English sound much more natural. This one happens all the time. In English, when you talk about he, she, or it, the verb usually gets an S at the end. People say, "She work in a bank," but it should be, "She works in a bank." This mistake is so small, yet it can make your English sound unnatural. The best way to fix it? Slow down and listen to how native speakers use it. Over time, your brain will automatically add that little S without thinking. Pronunciation mistakes are normal, but some words are particularly tricky. For example, a lot of learners struggle with comfortable, not comfortably, but comfortably. Vegetable, not vegetable, but vegetable. Wednesday, not Wednesday, but Wednesday. The trick to pronunciation isn't just reading words. It's listening to them often and repeating them out loud. Learners often mix these two up because, in many languages, they translate to the same thing, but in English we say, she told me a secret, not she said me a secret. He said that he was tired, not he told he was tired. A simple rule to remember is, you say something, but you tell someone. If you say, "I am not going to the party," it's correct. But native speakers would almost always say, "I'm not going to the party." Using contractions, I'm, your, he's, we've, makes your speech sound more natural. If you avoid them, your English might sound too formal or robotic. Try practicing everyday sentences with contractions until they feel natural. I am going to work. I'm going to work. She is my best friend. She's my best friend. In some languages, people say things like, I have a lot of traffic in my city. But in English, we say, there is a lot of traffic in my city. Or someone might say, I have cold today. But in English, it should be, I have a cold. Or I feel cold. Pay attention to how native speakers describe things, and soon these little changes will feel natural. Many learners struggle with make and do because in some languages they translate to the same word. In English, we use make for creating something, make a cake, make a decision, make a mistake, do for actions and activities, do homework, do business, do a favor. The best way to learn the difference is by listening to real-life conversations and seeing how these words are used naturally. This is the biggest mistake of all. Many learners are afraid to speak because they worry about making mistakes. But guess what? Mistakes are how you learn. Think about kids learning their first language. They make mistakes all the time, but they don't stop speaking. That's why they improve so fast. If you want to speak English fluently, you have to practice even if you're not perfect. Talk to yourself, join an online conversation group, or even practice with a friend. The more you speak, the better you'll get. Mistakes are normal. Every English learner makes them. Even native speakers make mistakes sometimes. The key is to notice them, learn from them, and keep practicing. So, which of these mistakes do you make the most? Start paying attention, and soon your English will sound much more natural. Thank you for practicing with me today. Keep going, keep improving, and see you in the next lesson.